office of the Always Believe House. Oh, today we're going to start combining polynomials. This is going to be F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. This is something you've done in junior high. A little bit more power because we're going to have different variables and exponents in these. So some things to remember. Exponents do not change when you add and subtract. Exponents do not change. You can only combine like terms. You cannot add like terms. You cannot add an x and a y. You can't add an x to an x squared. The variables have to be exactly the same. The variables and exponents to be a like term. And lastly, standard form. And I'm just going to do a power of 2 equation here. Something x squared plus, let me do this over here. Something x squared plus or minus, or let's just put something x and then something, okay? So this right here, these right here would be your, coefficients. The number without a letter would be a constant. This number right here is your leading coefficient. So you put your answers in order from the largest exponent to the smallest. So we want to go from largest exponent to smallest. And if you have different letters, you put your variables in alphabetical order. If I can spell right. Alphabetical order. Okay, so when we answer these, we want to put the largest exponents first, put the constant or the number without a variable last, and if you have different letters, you want to put those in alphabetical order in the order of the exponents, okay? So we're going to keep that in mind when answering these. And I'm going to show you a way which kind of neatly organizes this. You will not do these problems from left to right. You will not do these problems from left to right. You've got to learn to group. That's kind of hard to do here. So let's go to number 1. First thing you want to do is to get rid of the exponents. Okay, so in this case right here, we have a plus right here. That's not going to change any of the signs. So rewrite the problem without exponents. The next thing you want to do is to group your like terms. Find out your largest exponent. My largest exponent is an n squared. That's going to go first in my answer, and I'm going to single underline it. Notice there's no more n squares, are they? So that's the only single underline I have. Now then, double underline your n's. I have 1, 2, 3 n's, don't I? So I'm going to group all those up together. Now then, I'm going to go through and write my answer. The only single underline I have is 5n squared. Now then, I'm going to do the math of negative 3 plus 1 minus 4. Negative 3 plus 1 minus 4 is going to give me the coefficient for my n. Negative, you can't, it's kind of hard to do. I would punch this in on a calculator. Negative 3 plus 1 minus 4. Okay, that's going to be negative 7 plus 1, which is a negative 6, and my letter is n. This right here would be the answer. Okay, so I grouped my n squared together, and I grouped all of my n's together. Notice this problem does not have a constant, does it? So I don't have a third term. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, rewrite this and notice this minus right here will be distributed. So I'm going to put a little bitty minus on top. Okay, so that's going to change the sign of everything in the second parentheses. Now then, let's rewrite the problem. 6u plus 2 plus u squared. Remember, if a variable doesn't have a number in front of it, there's a 1. If you get confused on this, put the 1 there so you know to add it. And then right here, a negative times a 6 is negative 6. Negative times a positive is a negative. My number's 2, my letter's u. A negative times a positive is a negative. My number's 2, letter u, exponent 2. Now then, we're going to go through and single underline, double underline, and triple underline. So what's my largest exponent? It's the u squared in it. And I have two u squares. So those are going to go first. Now then I'm going to double underline my u's. I have 1, 2 u's. And then I'm going to triple underline my constants, which are 2 and 6. So I can visually see the single underline, the double underline, and the triple underline. That's the order that my answer will be. And I'm going to add and subtract the coefficients. The exponents and variables will not change. So let's look at the single underlines. I have a positive 1 and a negative 2. 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. My letter's u, my exponent's 2. Normally we don't put a 1, do we? So we have negative u squared. Now then look at the double underlines. It's 6 and negative 2. You're not doing this left to right, are you? You've got to be able to group. So my double underlines are 6 right here and the 2 right here, right? So 6 minus 2 is a positive 4. You've got to put the plus, don't you? So I'm going to put plus. 6 minus 2 is 4. My letter's u. Notice I'm writing these down as sign, number, letter. And then the last one, I have a positive 2 and a negative 6, right? I have more 6's than I do 2, so 2 minus 6 is not a positive, is it? You got to go back to 6th grade when you do integers. 2 minus 6 is going to be a negative 4. So my answer will be negative u squared plus 4u minus 4. Okay, so all you're basically doing is adding and subtracting single digit numbers. And you just got to group your like terms, okay? This won't be that hard if you can get the grouping of like terms down. Let's go to number 7. Notice on number 7 there's a plus here, so none of the signs will change. So write down the problem without without parentheses. Now then we're going to go through, we're going to single underline, double underline, triple underline. Single underline your k squares, double underline your k's, and triple underline your constants. That's the order that the problem will go in. So I'm going to do my single underlines, my double underlines, my triple underlines. And I'm going to get sign, number, letter, exponent. So on my single underlines I have 6 and 7, right? Negative 6 plus 7 is a positive 1. K squared, and I don't need the plus 1, do I? So just k squared. Now then go to the double underlines. I got 4 and negative 12. 4 minus 12, you got more 12s, it's going to be a negative 8 in it. Negative 8, my letter's k. Sign, number, letter. Then go to the triple underlines, 1 minus 10. If you have trouble with this, punch 1 minus 10 on your calculator. 1 minus 10, you got more 10s than 1s, the sign's going to be negative. 1 away from 10 is 9. You subtract because the signs are different. This right here is your answer. All you're doing is adding and subtracting 3 integers. That's it. Let's go to the next one we're going to do together. Is that all on the first page? Let's go to number 13. Number 13, there's a negative in the middle, right? So that negative is going to get distributed. So you're going to distribute the minus to these 3 numbers. That will change the signs in the second parentheses. So rewrite the problem without parentheses. Notice on this one we have, let me do it right. We have y and x, don't we? Which is why I picked this problem. So a negative times a positive is a negative. My number is 7, my letter's x, my exponent's 2. A negative times a positive is a negative. My number is 3, my letter's y, my exponent's 2. A negative times a positive is a negative. Number 2, letter is y. So on this one, we're going to have a lot of underlines. Remember, our biggest exponent's 2, but we have x's and y's. Put the letters in alphabetical order. So my x squares will go first. Have an x squared and an x squared. My y squares will go second. The y will go third. And I'm going to have a quadruple underline on the 5. I can't add the 5 to the 2y because they are not like terms. Now then, let's go left to right. And we're going to do the single underlines, double underlines, and so forth. So my single underlines are x and negative 7, right? And remember, this is a 1 right here, right? So 1 minus 7. What is 1 minus 7? That's a negative 6. My letter is x. My exponent's 2. Sign, number, letter, exponent. Notice the exponent does not change. Now then we're going to look at the double underlines, which are 2 and negative 3, right? 2 minus 3, got more 3's, it's negative, and the signs are opposite, so 2 away from 3 is 1. So negative 1 y squared, we don't need the 1, do we? So just negative y squared. Then my triple underline, is there any other y's? There's only one triple underline, right? So the negative 2y just drops. And do I have any more quadruple underlines? I only got one. The plus 5 will drop. So this right here is the answer. So notice the only arithmetic I had to do here was 1 minus 7 and 2 minus 3. That's not hard. And you're not changing your letters and exponents. And remember, sign, number, letter, exponent. And I think I'm going to do one more with you. Let's go to number 20. This will be the last one I do with you. Should be a simple assignment today. Let's go through. Notice we have a negative right here. That negative is going to distribute and it's going to change the sign of the second parentheses. So the first parentheses won't change. Always rewrite the problem without parentheses. And then minus 4 plus 7a squared minus 7a. Now then I'm going to single underline, double underline, triple underline. That tells me the order I'm going to put these in. So I'm going to single underline the a squares, that's the largest exponent, double underline the a's, and I'm going to triple underline my constants. Okay, so I'm going to put these in order from the largest exponent to the constant. So let's look at the single underlines. I got 5 and 7, don't I? 5 plus 7 is 12. My letter is a, my exponent's 2. Sign, number, letter, exponent. Look at the double underlines. I got 6 and negative 7, right? 6 minus 7 is negative 1, and my letter's a. I don't have to put the 1, do I? So just minus a. And then lastly, 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 is a positive 3. Remember, do the sign and then the number. This right here would be my answer. What a blast. You're going to finish up the rest of the worksheet. It is going to be fun. You're going to submit it. This will be your homework assignment for today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy adding these up. It is going to be so much fun, just like eating an Oreo cookie. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.